consenting. Graduated with a BA in kinesiology, went on, played for the national team, quit indoors to become a beach Olympian, went to 4 Olympics, won 3 gold medals, and retired in 2012. Now I am the director of volleyball operations at Long Beach City College, but am resigning at the end of June. And now I'm sitting in my backyard, quarantining with sun and palm trees.
Perfect. And then we'll scoot on over to Taylor.
Taylor Crabb, born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii. Went to Long Beach from 2010 to 2014. National Player of the Year, 2013. Played 1 year pro in France, and then quit indoor to go to the beach. And now I'm trying to become an Olympian and follow Misty's footsteps.
All right. And how about you, Josh?
All right, Josh Tuaniga. Attended Long Beach from 2015 to 2019. Got National Player of the Year 2018. Won the championship title 2018 and 2019. Or actually 2019, 2020. No, sorry, 2018, 2019, sorry. And then just played my first professional season in Poland. Just finished up in March. So trying to make my little stunt with the national team and hopefully follow also Misty's steps, become an Olympian.
Josh won so many awards in college. He's forgetting which years that those happened. He's trying to get them all straight there. But guys, we know, and we're all here today because we love Long Beach State and we love college athletics and the college experience. We'll start with Josh and we'll go Taylor, and then we'll finish with Misty. Can you guys tell us what being a student athlete at Long Beach State meant and why you picked Long Beach State?
All right, being a student athlete at Long Beach State, I'm from Long Beach, so I was able to kind of like, not only live and grow up in the community, but also, almost represent it and like play for the community. So it was super awesome getting to see the relationship between Long Beach and its community around it, and seeing the support from, just the athletic program. So it meant a lot being a student athlete here in Long Beach. And then also I chose Long Beach because it was such a great program. It had a great coaching staff. When I went on my visit, like I learned a lot about how close the athletic program was to each other, and guys like Bruce McCray being able to kind of support us and show love, and just show love throughout the entire athletic program. That was all being on top of it being home for me. So like it meant a lot, and I chose Long Beach because it was my home, and over 4 years it just grew into it being more of a home.
Before we move on to Taylor, I want to tell everybody that via the chat function, we'll be able to ask questions of folks. So feel free to send us your questions via the chat, and we'll be able to ask the panel, and we might be asking some of you to ask your questions live to our panelists. So, and we'll go on and we'll move on to Taylor. Same question. Why Long Beach State, and what was it like to be a student athlete?
Yeah, so mine's a lot different than Josh's because I'm from Hawaii, so I didn't get to really grow up around it and be in that area. But the times that I was in that area, from the first time, my first interaction I was there, it was something I wanted to be a part of. And that first interaction was a high performance camp at Long Beach, where we stayed in the dorms for a week. And some of the players at the time were the coaches. And I actually became good friends with Cody Watton and the Watton family. Dusty was a phenomenal libero at the time. And after that camp, every summer I would go back to California. I would go back to Long Beach and hang with the Wattons, and they got me into that culture. And that's that's what trumped everything from every other college I got recruited by, was the culture. It wasn't at the time, the team didn't have the best record, and that didn't matter to me. I wanted to be a part of that culture, to be the best player and student I could be. And the biggest thing for me that I saw at my time there was it's not just the players who are the family, it's the generation of players who are all together, and all the alumni who support each other and always come back to these events and show their love and support for the players. That's what made me want to be a part of that.
And then Misty, we'll throw it over to you. Oh, hold on one second there, Misty. I think you're on mute.
Sorry,
oh.
I'm muted. I'm muted. So I actually started going to Long Beach State camps when I was in 6th grade. We'd drive from Santa Monica, and I'd attend Long Beach State volleyball camps. And I can't remember how I heard about it, but that's when I got the first taste of what the program was really about. And from sixth grade on, I attended their all skills camp and setters camp. And just being around the players, I watched Joy, I followed Sabrina, Danielle. I got to see who I honestly think are the greats in the game. They may not have continued as far as some other players you see today, but to me, they were players that I looked up to. And just seeing how Brian and Debbie handled the team, the discipline, I knew that was a program I wanted to be a part of, though I was young at the time. And then when I was a senior in high school, I had a pick of really any school to go to. I was the top recruit out of high school as an outside hitter. And Long Beach State was actually the first trip I took. And I committed after taking the trip, because when I stepped on the campus, it just felt like I was going to be a part of something bigger, and it felt like home. And that's what you want to feel when you go on your recruiting trips. You want to feel it's a place that you would want to continue if your career were to end early. And it felt like that place to me, because it was close enough for me to be home, but then too, I knew I was going to be part of a dominant program, get the training I needed to compete at the next level. And then too, with the athletic support that we got through the counselors and the athletic department, it was actually nice picking a school that didn't have a football program, because some of the sports that might not shine that much at some of these bigger universities, they were very well highlighted at Long Beach State. And so I felt that we gained all that support. So that was really important to me. And that's what made me fall in love, was that. And I'm actually wearing, we had the best boosters too, the best support. I'm actually wearing a sweatshirt from 1998 that the boosters gave me. It's still around. And even when I went on to play professionally, I'd still see the same faces that were in the gym my freshman year, out on the sand, supporting myself. Brittany, Taylor, I'm sure they're out there, supporting you at your beach tournaments. And that's what makes it important, is that family feel. So.
All right. So all of you in one capacity or another have been able to do something that not a lot of people get to do. You've all been able to wear a Team USA jersey. So Misty, you've obviously had probably to this point the most prominent Team USA career. So can you tell us what wearing that was like, and then we'll work our way down the road.
I've got to wear two, one with more material and one with less material. So I got to wear the two different USA jerseys. But again, it was following in the footsteps. Debbie Greene, who was our coach in college, she played for the national team, won a silver medal. And that was somebody I aspired to want to be like. And wearing the indoor jersey, I represented everything that she taught me. I got to play with Danielle Scott, who was an alumni, and she wore the jersey for many years, the not only the Olympic jersey, but the indoor national team jersey. And it just says about all the hard work and dedication. And I've always credited my success to everyone. I'm just the body, that's out there playing. But really, without the training I got, without my teammates, without my counselors getting me through college, none of this would have been possible. So I really accredit it to everyone else. I'm just the body that is portraying everybody's hard work, and it's really special. And I'm sure, I mean, Taylor's going to be there. He's got to wait a year, but he's going to be there. And I see them doing very well, and Josh will be there too. And there's nothing greater than representing your country and your flag. And, you know, it really takes it back to where Josh said, you represent your city, your community, your family. So it's very special. And, you know, I'm very humble about it, but I really take pride in it.
Great. Taylor, Misty brought up a great point here. You were training for the Olympics. You were getting ready to go to Tokyo this fall. Can you tell us what you're doing now in preparation for that, and what the rest of the qualification and making Team USA is going to look like for you guys now that it's pushed out a year?
Yeah, so there's still a lot of uncertainty with the qualifications. Before all this COVID, we were number 1 for USA and number 8 in the world. Pretty much a lock to go to Tokyo. But now, since it is postponed another year, they still have to decide what or if they're going to change the qualification, because it's a whole nother year. So we're still waiting to hear from the FIVB on that. But in the meantime, I'm lucky enough that our coach has a friend that has a full gym at his house. So me, Jake, and Rich get to go lift at this guy's house just by ourselves and still get our work in 4 days a week. Obviously not on the sand yet, but beaches are opening up, we're hearing, and we're hoping to get back on the sand really quick.
That's great. And Josh, you were telling me whenever we hopped on here that you had an interesting start to the pandemic as well. You were over in Poland playing, and when everything kind of got shut down. So can you tell us about your trip back and what it was like trying to get back to the United States?
Yeah, it was definitely a struggle trying to get back. There were some, just the news around what you're hearing with airports closing and countries closing travel to get back, you know, and me being so far away, I knew I wasn't going to be able to find like a good straight flight to LA from where I was. So travel was pretty tough. It took me about like maybe 4 days total to go to come from Poland to LA. And yeah, that was just that was after we finished the season early. Like we had like 2 or 3 games left in the regular season out there, and we had to cut it short and head home before everything closed. So grateful that I made it home, and happy that I'm able to be with my family during this tough time. And you know, it's good. It's good stuff here.
So Josh, the last time a lot of our folks saw you playing, you were winning a national championship on the floor at the Pyramid. This is a 2-part question. First, can you tell us what that feeling has to be like, working 4 years and you win a national title on your home floor? And then what have you been doing since? Yeah,
so going back to that win, it was pretty awesome. Like it's like, you know, something you kind of write in a book, write in a story, or, you know, you win your last game on your home court in front of your family, in front of your home, and you get all the support you can get, you know, right there. And you bring the community a win, and it's awesome, and it's super great. And, you know, you get to celebrate with your home pretty much. Since then, it's been trying to, you know, see if I can, you know, when I first got out there in Poland, it was like wondering if I can really hang with some of these guys who were veterans in the league and, you know, who have spent so much time playing professional volleyball, just trying to be able to implement myself into that kind of professional volleyball and seeing if I could really hang. And once I got the rhythm of being able to play out there, it was like, okay, now it's like, how do I make a stamp for myself, and how do I, you know, really, you know, thrive and in this type of volleyball. So it's really just trying to find myself within professional volleyball and within this level of volleyball. So yeah, it's been an awesome. It's like almost like a new journey of, you know, trying to, you know, like when you're a little kid trying to learn the sport, and you're learning different things, you're learning new things. I kind of feel the same way now, trying to learn as much as I can about this level of volleyball, and you know, just acquire what I can and be able to take it from there.
That's great. Taylor, I got a question here from the audience, a chat question here. Just to bring up to everybody again, if you have a question, please fill it in on the chat function, and we might be picking your question to be asked to our panelists. But this one would be for Taylor and for Misty. Folks want to know what it's like going from indoor to outdoor. You both obviously played indoor at a very high level, and you're both have competed and are competing in beach volleyball at the highest level in the world. So can you tell us what it's like to go from indoor to beach volleyball?
Yeah, luckily for me, I grew up playing beach my whole life, and actually Long Beach was a huge help for that because they had the beach courts on the campus at the rec center. So on the weekends or on other days off or not in season, we'd always go get our team and go play on the beach and do some cross training. So that helped tremendously. And the switch, it was, even though I grew up playing beach, is very difficult for me. And it maybe it didn't seem like it, but it took me a while to actually settle in and gain the confidence to feel like I belong out there, especially on the international level, being a smaller player. But my time at Long Beach with the teammates I had, and always being an undersized outside hitter indoor, I learned so much from my Long Beach teammates about support and gaining confidence in myself to be the best player I could be, and to kind of put those naysayers behind and to focus on my craft and enable me to play at the highest level.
Misty, did you have anything to add to that?
Oh yeah. First I want to say hi, Mrs. Walter. So anyways, no, so very similar to Taylor, growing up doing both playing indoor and beach. I grew up in Santa Monica and both my parents played, so I was raised around the game and was always, whether I had off weekends from soccer or volleyball, I was at the beach. Even during college, unless Brian would say, hey, we don't want you out there on Sunday, me and some of the girls would go out to Huntington and play. We didn't have the rec center, you lucky guys. So, but I think a lot of indoor players, and I had a talk with the Long Beach State women's team earlier this week, a lot of players think beach and indoor are two different games. And so I tell the players, I said, you still learn to pass, set, and hit indoor. You pass, set, and hit on the beach. So there is really no difference, maybe the court size, but I feel that timing is the biggest issue. Getting out there, understanding how you have to move on a, non-wood surface, the sand is going to displace, how to jump, how to get your feet to the ball. So I think that's the hardest thing, is learning the movement patterns, and then also just the timing. Because everybody can pass. If you come from a very good indoor program, they teach you how to pass, they teach you how to set, and maybe you're not setting to the same locations as you would indoor or passing the same locations, but the skill is there. It's just the timing. But because I did both, like Taylor, I felt the transition was easier. Plus it helped when, like you guys playing in front of a huge crowd, a couple times we sold the pyramid out. So it helped getting that experience playing in front of rowdy 5,000 crowds. And then you go international and you have rowdy 5,000 crowds not cheering for you, but you take it as if it's your home crowd. So that made the transition easier, was, having the fans and being a main sport.
So we have a quick follow-up question to that one from Dee Dee Rossi, and we'll direct it to you, Misty. Do you think it's better to play indoor first before you move to the sand, or it doesn't matter?
So I think if you can get your toes sandy and have a chance just to go out and move in the sand, it's going to make you better indoor. So even if you're a young kid, if you're 12, get out there, just play on the weekends, be a kid. I think doing both is fine, because beach will make your indoor game better. Obviously, I hate to say this, and Kelsey Robinson, who's on the women's team now, she was playing for Nebraska at the time when I was volunteering assistant at Long Beach State for the beach team in 2012, and she came up to me, and I had heard about her indoor but didn't really know, but she's a good beach player as well. She had wanted to make the switch over, and after our match against them had asked me, hey, I want to become a professional. What can I do? And I kind of laid it out, and Matt Verbringer, who's on the coaching staff, knows about this. Taylor knows. As a professional beach player, you pay for your own training, you pay for your housing, you pay for your own travel, you pay, there's a lot of money that has to be put out to be successful. Whereas indoor, everything's kind of managed for you. So I had told Kelsey, hey, I'm assuming you're a very good indoor player. Why don't you play indoor as long as you can? The beach will always be there. And that's kind of been my advice. I don't want to kill anybody's dreams, but if you can go make money overseas and make a good living, you can always come back to the beach. It's very hard once you leave the indoor game to really go back. And right now, I don't know if Taylor can add anything. I feel the money's a little different in the beach game, and especially with what's going on now, you don't know how what's going to happen with sponsors and tournaments. And a lot of our livelihood on the beach is maintained by sponsors and many tournaments. And I feel like if you're the top 1, 2, maybe 3 teams, you can make a living. But other than that, I feel like at this point, you almost need another job to be able to carry over. So I always recommend for the indoor players leaving to go get an experience overseas, learn a different language, play indoor as long as you can, and then come out to the beach.
All right, perfect. We have a question here. I'm going to have them ask it. It's coming from Go Beach. I don't have a name on that, but let me get them set up here. Sorry, I lost them just as I said that I was going to have them ask a question. Of course, that's how it works. I think they might have actually left the Zoom entirely. So, Josh, we had a question that came in for you, and I'll see if I can get back to Go Beach in a second. Oh, there they are. We got them on. Are you there?
Yes. Hi. I'm Makisha, a beach staff member and avid sports fan. So it's great to have all of you panelists here. I was there when Josh won that volleyball title. That was great. I just wanted to ask you all, have any of you met your sports idol? And if so, how was that experience and what advice were you given?
I'll go. I guess I'll go first. Nobody speaking. I'll go first. So one of my favorite indoor players, well, I have 2, and I'll explain, but one of my favorite indoor players is Maria Luis from Cuba, and I like watching her grow up because she's about 5'8" with 40-inch vertical. She played indoor till she was in her 40s, and so she was somebody I watched. I got to actually meet her in Beijing and take a picture with her. Now, she doesn't really speak English, so she really wasn't able to tell me anything, but I was so excited to get my Olympic ticket signed by her in Beijing and then be able to take a picture. So that was really fun because I don't know, if I'll ever have that opportunity again. And then one of my other idols actually is like a second mom to me is Debbie Greene, who was on the coaching staff. And she's like a mom to me. And so I stay in close contact with her, and then her kids are actually going to be the godparents to my 2 twins. So we still have a very close relationship. But Debbie taught me, especially learning setting, not everything has to be perfect. I was trying to be a perfectionist indoors, and it would really mess up my game. And so she kind of told me, hey, not everything's going to be perfect. So You just kind of weather the storm, and that's why you have teammates around you, is to pick up the shortcomings.
Taylor or Josh, do you guys have you met your sports idols?
Yeah, I actually am lucky enough to play with one. He's my partner.
Okay.
Growing up, watching him in Beijing and London and Rio, when I first got the call from him that he wanted to maybe team up with me, I was beyond nervous. Our first practice together, I was dead terrible just because of how nervous I was, just because I idolized this guy playing, and I was, it was my second year playing on the beach, or third year, and I had a 3-time Olympian next to me on the court, and I didn't want to make any mistakes, which made it even worse when you play volleyball like that. But yeah, it's been a dream come true with me. He's everything you want in a partner. He's uplifting. He speaks positive. He knows how to communicate with you to lift you up and help you play at your best. So I'm very fortunate to have him by my side.
Was he as always uplifting, or that first year did he give you a little bit of the business?
Not at all. Jake's the most positive guy you'll ever meet, the most uplifting guy. Even when he needs to tell you something, you need to change something or do something different, he says it in a way to still bring you up and make you want to change it, instead of tear you down, or ask yourself, why would I do this for this guy, or anything like that. So he knows how to communicate very well.
Perfect. We'll circle back to Josh, and then Josh, I got a follow-up question when you're done.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be able to be coached by one. Former coach Tyler Hildebrand was a pretty big idol of mine. He taught me so much about the game, and taught me so much about setting as well. And, I learned a lot from him, and he became a really big idol of mine. I met 2 more when I started training with the national team, with Kavika Shoji and Micah Christensen. You just growing up in the States and being around setting, you hear a lot about those 2 names. So I was being able to train with them, meet them, just being able to be under them a little bit and learn from them was really awesome. And then I think right now there's 2 other setters that I haven't met yet, that I really kind of modeled my game after. Would have to be a setter from Iran, Maruf, and then an old-time setter from Brazil with Garcia. Yeah, if I could meet those 2, I think I'll be good there.
All right, Josh, and then we have a live question coming in from Pio Castillo. Pio, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
You are live. Ask your question.
Hey, I'm a new follower of the LBSU volleyball team, so I only have seen 2019 and 2018 and 19. So my question is for Josh. It's the NCAA championship week, supposedly. What do you miss about last year's season? And what do you miss about playing with your buddies?
So what do I miss about last year's season, and what do I miss about playing with my friends? Is that what I said?
Yeah, so Pio was breaking up a little bit there. His question was, it's NCAA championship week. If we were playing now, what do you miss about playing with us, and what do you miss about playing with last year's team?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely when you've played for Long Beach for 4 years, you build a relationship with the school and the relationship with the players there. And luckily enough, I still get to train with a few of my teammates from that season. But I definitely do miss playing with that entire team, and miss those, those moments we had on travel days and in the locker room, and just on the court, in the weight room, and even off court as well. You definitely build some memories, and being able to hold on to those has been pretty special for me. So, I definitely do miss playing with my friends, like Nick Amato and all those guys. as well as playing for the school. Yeah.
Josh, we got another question for you here that the Long Beach State faithful that are on the call might be interested in. So your sister's coming to Long Beach State this fall. She's going to play on the women's volleyball team. What advice are you giving her about coming into Long Beach State? And she's got some big shoes to fill following in your footsteps. So what are you telling her?
I mean, you know, she's a pretty hard worker. I mean, she's worked harder than I was in high school, so I feel like she's got a pretty good foundation going in. The only thing I'm really telling her is just to keep that same work ethic, keep that same, you know, that drive, and, you know, build relationships there while she's there, so she can, you know, really not only, you know, benefit herself, but also, you know, just build memories there. So, yeah, I mean, just telling her to have as much fun as she can. And, yeah.
All right, perfect. Hey, Misty, we want to ask you a question. So you were on one of the all-time Long Beach State teams. You guys went 36-0, I believe it was, and were the first women's volleyball team to go undefeated on your way to a national championship. What made that team so special that you guys didn't take any nights off and you were able to always get the win?
Again, I talked to the Long Beach State women's team about this, and I think it was the culture that we had 5 freshmen come in together, and when it became our senior year, we had lost our junior year in the semifinals against Stanford. And right after that, the seniors, I believe they exited the locker room at the national championships, and us 5 started to build a culture from there. We put team rules. We wanted to let the players know what we would expect, and that our goal was to win a national championship the next year, not to feel like we did during that time. So I think that was super important. I talked about the leadership. There wasn't just one leader on the team, and that was very evident. If there was 14 players, we had 14 leaders. We had 3 captains, but really we had 14 captains. Everybody did their part, which is super important. We didn't have to worry about the person next to us. And that's what you want when you're part of a team, is not to have to worry, to be able to focus on the job that you do. But also, too, we believed in the process. And we believed in our goal. And we would remind each other that daily with our practices, with our weightlifting, with our work ethic, with the work in the classroom, that we were all on the same page. So that's what made that group so special. And, you know, my time, I had fabulous teammates from my freshman year all the way to my senior year, and I still communicate with all of them. And like Josh said, it's about building relationships, and all the women that I played with at Long Beach State have been very special and continue to stay close to me.
All right, perfect. And we've got a question from somebody who's near and dear to the Long Beach State family, and he's promised me that he's going to keep it on the tame end. But we've got Bruce Double D McRae coming in with a question. So Bruce, you're live.
Thank you. Thanks, man. And this is going out to all of them. First of all, we've met our champions, and that's in year 3. All 3 of you are heroes in all of it. Look at all the sponsors that are on this call. Look at the twins. I love seeing them, because when you mention them, they laugh and smile. When you don't mention them, they get very serious. So we love you both. But you've been mentors to so many people. I know we talked about who's mentored. I see Alan. I just saw Alan's waving. But Misty, when my daughter was growing up, you were her hero. And you were a hero to so many young people, because even though you were that Olympic champion and stuff, you've never forgotten where you've come from. Taylor and Josh were the same way. What do you tell the youth coming up now that to stay grounded? Because you are 3 true champions, yet the love you give to everybody is constant. Can you share that?
Yeah, it's easy for me. It's just remember how you got there. remember the people that have helped you, that have made sacrifices for you, and just being blessed by so many people that have helped me. It makes me want to do the same for the next generation, and that's why I'm on this call. I did a Zoom call with the Tulane Beach team because their head coach Eyal Zamet was someone I grew up idolizing while he played at University of Hawaii, and I got to watch him. Everyone that's given to me, I try to give back to, and that's what that's what sports is all about, is giving back to the next generation so they can be better. And yeah.
Does anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, I'll just say, like, I think we're just like like Misty said and like Taylor said, I think we're like products of, the body of work that's around us. So if you can just, show love to, to the people that, help you train, to the people that help you grow, to the facilities and all that, just, I think that's really where it comes down to, at least for me. Just being a product of Long Beach State, being a product of Long Beach, being a product of the people I've trained with, and the training that I've been a part of. That's really where I kind of I go back and I show love there, and I think that's really where I kind of get it.
I think because I always wanted to make the people around me better. And that's what I try to tell when I coach kids or the clinics, is to make the person next to you better. If we can make the person next to us better, they're going to want to do that to the person next to them. And it just kind of spreads like wildfire. And I think it's the, being fortunate enough to be able to do what we do on a daily basis and respecting the game. And when I say respect the game, it's not just about the wins or losses of the team on the other side. Respecting the game to me is respecting your fans, respecting your scorekeepers, your refs. It's a bigger picture, and trying to instill that on the players that it's not about you. So much goes into what needs to be done for this to even take place. So just kind of instilling that and letting them, not forget that, but to become a better teammate, to, like I said, make the people around them better. And I coached Megan, so I was one of Megan's coaches. And then Nick used to run around the gym and bug us, like the little, and now I can't believe he has a kid. I'm like, oh my gosh. So time flies. But no, so I remember them as, 13-year-olds, running around. So it makes it fun. And I know the new generation has a harder time now because they have social media. When we were growing up, we didn't have social media. We didn't have some of the pressures that some of the kids do now. So I remind them of that too daily. And they're all individuals. Don't follow the masses. Be your own person. And it's okay to be a strong, independent woman, especially when I'm coaching ladies. I'm like, be strong and independent. It's cool to be strong. So that's kind of what I instill, hopefully.
All right, for everyone who's on, we are giving you a special bonus here. We've got a fourth champion who's going to come on. He is our coach at Long Beach State men's volleyball team. He's been an Olympic coach, and he's also been a champion here at Long Beach State. And he's actually seen all three of our panelists wear the black and gold. So we're going to have Coach Alan Knipe come on here and talk a little bit about his memories from watching these three play at Long Beach State.
Thanks, Camden. Well, first of all, hello to everyone. What a great way to start this off. Man, three all-time greats, not just to wear the black and gold, but, in volleyball, but to do it in our athletic department and do it all the right way. And, so when I think back of, I think back at Misty playing at Long Beach State, I think of one thing. Whenever she was going to play a home match at Long Beach State, we had to make sure we got all our recruits into town as quickly as we possibly could, because the pyramid was going to be packed. And it was the first real time I ever remember volleyball at Long Beach State being packed. And I remember standing up on the rail at the very top of the pyramid because there was no seats with our recruits and telling them, yeah, absolutely, this is exactly how it is for the men's games as well. So it took us a few years to get to that point, but it did happen. I think the other thing I think about Misty is when I was at her national championship game. I believe it was in Wisconsin. Is that correct? Wisconsin, right? We're in Madison. There's been a few of them that we've been at those coaches conventions. So sorry, they all seem to have snow and they're in December and they all bleed into one. So, but that was a special night to watch Misty and her team battle and win that championship and be down. There's always seems to be a tendency to make for the dramatic, to be down and watch Misty go back and serve in the 5th set and carry her team to that title. It was just it was an awesome night for Brian and the program to have that championship and undefeated, be the first team to say that they're the first team to do that. That's pretty special. It just makes me think of so many things about whether it's the women's program or the men's program at first. Obviously I was part of the first team in our program history to win, and Misty's first undefeated team, and then Tara Cross is leading the NCAA in all-time in kills. And on the men's side, Brent Hilliard leading the NCAA in all-times of kills. There's so many wonderful things when you think of Long Beach State Volleyball. But I don't know if Misty knows this, but something I could throw out since so many of you know him. There was a very special guest you guys had at that championship in Wisconsin. So they typical Long Beach State fashion back then. We didn't really fly our band around at that time, so we hired the Wisconsin band and put them in Long Beach State gear, and that was cheaper. Actually, a pretty savvy business move. But we had that big blow up Prospector Pete mascot running around, and he was doing a terrible job, not very excitable. And I think the next time you ask Mark Edrington, you got to ask him why in the middle of the 3rd set it got so much better. And all of a sudden, no one could see Mark Edrington walking around the facility anymore. He took the guy into the back, got him out of the uniform, got him out of the Prospector Pete, got himself right in it, and went out there and started acting like a complete idiot. But it was awesome, and that was a perfect example of being all in at Long Beach State. But watching Misty play, I don't think she really understands how much of an impact she had. But Joy's on the call, but we were recruiting Dave and Jim Polster and Matt Prosser and all those guys, and they were a product of coming to watch the women's team play and how great it could be and what the environment could look like in the pyramid. And it doesn't surprise me when those guys had their chance to come in, and they went to the championship game also. Unfortunately, we didn't get it done that year. We lost in the finals, but they got the program turned in the right direction, that's for sure. When I think of Taylor, when he was at Long Beach State, I didn't have the luxury of coaching Taylor the entire time. I was still with the national team until his junior year. When I came back, we had an amazing first year together of turning the program back around. And Taylor was the NCAA Player of the Year when a lot of people believed he was the size of a libero. And I don't say that. That's just what other people say. Right, Taylor? But the fact that he could do what he could do, Taylor, there was a stretch that I don't know if I've ever seen, and I ever will see this level of volleyball again. That Taylor went through a stretch. It must have been about 5 or 6 matches. I know that UCLA was in there a couple of times, and so was Irvine. They were real good at that time. And someone did a stat workup on it, and he had touched the ball close to 500 times in passing, hitting, serving, all the contacts he could possibly have, and he had 3 errors. So that's a pretty unbelievable number. And when I was on the All-American call that year, and they were talking about the Player of the Year, and they were trying to decide who it was going to be, and it came down. It was real close, and they were making their push for Taylor. I didn't even have to say anything because one of the other coaches said, I was looking through all the stats last night, and I realized as an outside hitter, Taylor, as a left side hitter, led the team almost every match in total attempts, which obviously your best player is going to do that a lot. But he had 1 match in his entire 2013 season that he didn't hit over 300 from the left. And that's an enormous number if you know anything about statistics in volleyball. But watching what Taylor was able to do with that team and how much better he was able to get in that season and carry us. But I'll never forget that stretch. And there were so many other things he did well for us. But that stretch to this day is the best stretch in college volleyball I've ever been around. And then, obviously being around him in his post Long Beach State career, it's been a pleasure to watch him represent, you know, Long Beach State, himself, his family, the state of Hawaii, Long Beach, everything he's so proud about, how he represents, and chip away and get wins and move up the FIVB board and be the #1 ranked USA team. And obviously it's unfortunate we don't get a chance to watch him compete this summer, but we will watch him compete and we will watch him have a chance to win the gold medal. We're super proud of him. And then, you know, with Josh, you know, it's just, I just think that for me, on the men's side, he's the greatest setter I've ever seen at any level, and I've coached a few levels. It's unbelievable the things Josh could do as a setter, and I know he sits on the call talking about his idols, and he might even be in the gym with some of his idols right now, but the things that Josh can do setting the ball is simply spectacular, and there's nobody I would want setting a team that I coached at any level at any time other than Josh. He'd be always my first round draft pick in that position every single time. You know, setters that can do more than just set the ball, though, is super special. And that's exactly what Misty did for her team, how special she was as a setter back in Wisconsin to go back. But to go back and change the game from the service line when they needed it is a big deal. And if you remember both of our championships at UCLA, we needed Josh to serve in the 4th set just to get to the 5th set. And then Josh served so well in the pyramid in big moments for us last year. He was so much more than just a setter, but if you take just his setting position, it's pretty special. And the last thing I'll say is, since all of you on this call are big Long Beach State fans and you're excited to see Josh's sister come in and play, you know, she's going to be very special. It's going to be an awesome ride to watch Mia set, but that's because of the family that Josh comes from. And they're all a product of their family, which Taylor is from the Crabb family. If you know anything about that family, if you've ever been around Hawaii or volleyball, and obviously it goes without saying, the same with Butch and Barbara May and the family that they had. And there's no surprise to me if you know the history of these three and their families and what they've done in volleyball and the type of people they are and the product they are, that they are the people they are today. So we're proud of all three of you, and we're glad you guys joined into our family so you can make it even better. And hopefully the Long Beach family rubbed off on you guys, but you guys are three of the all-time greats. And thanks for being here.
Thanks a lot, Coach. We appreciate it, and certainly means a lot coming from you and someone who got to play with and coach and watch all of these.
Well, I wish I got to play with them. I was way over that. Misty says she remembers Nick running around the gym. I remember seeing Misty run around, so I didn't get to play with any of them.
So we appreciate your thoughts. One thing that we wanted to make mention of, we see Arlene and Marilyn on the screen, and we wanted to quickly say a quick blessing and a prayer for everyone for Mike Walter, who's recovering in the hospital right now. Mike and Arlene have been longtime supporters of the Beach family, and we certainly appreciate them, and Godspeed to Mike on his recovery. So back to our panelists here. We're about college athletics, and it's been awesome to hear about your career. Can you tell us what having the opportunity to be a student athlete and have a scholarship at Long Beach State, how that helped you and what it did to set you up to accomplish all the amazing things that you've accomplished? Because that's our goal here today is to raise money, and I encourage everyone to visit beachathleticfund.com and invest in our student athletes, invest with us today, and then celebrate with us tomorrow. So I'll get back to our panelists on what that meant to them. We'll start with Josh and work our way Taylor and then Misty.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The support means so much. Like just being able to have that, you know, support behind me and being able to, you know, just do the things I did. It wouldn't be without that support. So I think the years I was there, we were able to accomplish a lot. And if it wasn't for just the overall support from the community, the support from the athletic department, and just everything, every resource we had on on hand. It was, I mean, I don't think we would have done what we did. So, I mean, just being able to have that support is amazing. It's really awesome it makes it, better for us to, kind of compete and not have to worry about so much. So, yeah.
My bad, I muted myself. How about you, Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Josh. I mean, Knight gave out a lot of statistics about me, but I mean, those aren't just my statistics. Those are, that shows what our team was, the people around me, my players, all the coaches from Knight, the head coach, all the way to our volunteer assistants. You saw that everyone was in 100% in. They gave everything they had towards the program, to the players, all the fans, very supportive. And, without all that, we're not sitting here today. Any of us three aren't sitting here today. So we thank the LBSU community and everyone that's sacrificed and cheered us on and supported us is truly amazing.
And Misty?
I'm very proud to wear the black and gold. I'm going to be a 49er for life. I don't know about beach, but I'm going to be a 49er, but no, I'm going to support the school with every phase of my life. And, when the time comes for me to share things with my daughters, I want to make them fans of Long Beach State, because that's what it means to me and just how much Long Beach State cares about the community. Being a student athlete, I mean, first and foremost, education, being able to play a sport and get an athletic scholarship to be able to get your education, it has given me freedom once my career was over. Once I retired, I was able to take that degree that I got, and I ended up getting a master's degree, but I was able to give back by becoming a coach, like some of the greats that I was around at Long Beach State. So, I felt at Long Beach State, there's many schools that look at their athletes as just not people. They're athletes, and they throw them on the field if they're injured. They don't really care about the after. And I didn't feel like that at Long Beach State. I felt that the whole staff, the athletic support in the department, they care about you as people. They want to see you succeed both on and off the field. They want you to be successful after. And I don't think in my time there, we had one person that didn't graduate college. And I think that's super important, is to get an athletic department, coaches that take interest in you as people, boosters, the community, because graduating, I think, is one of the biggest accomplishments that you can have. And that meant a lot. Being a student athlete at Long Beach State was that you weren't just a number, you weren't just an athlete, you weren't just a body to bring home a championship or win a game. You were a person that they expected more from you as far as in the classroom, and to be able to have a career. So when you go on to your next job and they ask, hey, what school did you graduate from? Long Beach State. So I think that was super important, and that was fun to be a part of by being a student athlete at Long Beach State.
All right. Well, we thank you three very much for your time and for what you've done for Long Beach State and elevating the profile of athletics. And we wish you all well in the future, and as you continue to compete and represent our school. A couple things I wanted to note here. We are about 2.5 hours into our giving day, and we have already crossed $40,000. So we want to thank all of you for your support, and we appreciate everything that you're doing, but keep it coming. We've got more events going on. What's that?
Can I throw something in there?
Yeah, please.
Since it's Giving Tuesday, from our boosters to fans, no matter what you can give, if you give towards the athletic program at Long Beach State, you are giving the coaches the freedom to just focus on coaching, really. And instead of spreading themselves too thin and having to worry about where the, fundraising money is going to come from. And that really helps not only to prepare the athlete, but to have the programs be as successful as they can, is they can focus their full attention on the coaching aspect. So I would really encourage you guys to give, whether it's a small or a large amount, to the Long Beach State athletic department. You will see the benefits and you'll be like family. So
all right, thank you. And that means a lot coming from you, and also from someone who's been in the coaching world and had to experience balancing a budget on top of trying to coach a team as well. And she's absolutely right. Every dollar that we can raise keeps our coaches coaching and less time trying to raise funds and not spending time with their student athletes. So if you'd like to donate, please text or call 562-985-4949. That's 562-985-4949, and we will have a Beach Athletic Fund representative hit you up as soon as we are able. Thank you all again, and thank you to our panel. And we'll see you at 11:30 with lunch with men's basketball presented by Domino's. We'll see you all then. Have a great day and go Beach.
Thanks, guys.
bye.
Thanks, guys. Go Beach.
Go Beach.